Hello and welcome to another open source workplace video. Today I'm very, very happy to bring you someone new to the show. This is Cristina Herrera. Cristina, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great actually. This is a really great opportunity. I'm happy to be with you here this morning.
No, thank you. And thank you for joining us. And I believe you're in New York, Brooklyn specifically, but actually that doesn't sound like a Brooklyn accent. So where are you originally from?
So I'm from Sydney, Australia, born and raised. I moved over here about 4 years ago now. So they say when you hit the fifth year, you're here for good, but we'll see. We'll see.
Who knows? Not too long to go to find out then, but we'll see where you go. So obviously, you're in Brooklyn, right? We know how bad New York is experiencing the COVID-19 epidemic, so pandemic rather. But so what's it been like for you?
So it's been an interesting journey for me. I actually got sick throughout this process, and I think I had the virus. I don't know. I was never tested, but it was a pretty hard, 2 week slog, just getting through that and taking care of myself, making sure I was hydrated and all of that. But luckily, generally outside of this pandemic, I take care of my health and wellness anyway, so I was able to push through. But also, I mean, this has put a lot of pressure on businesses. So
Hmm.
I was laid off and, found myself in this strange paradigm where I thought, oh, wow, I wasn't expecting this. But also looking at it as an opportunity, how was I going to take advantage of this time? What was I going to do with my time? All of a sudden, I'm a lady of leisure. Who knew? So I've got all this time on my hands. So yeah, it's been a difficult period to navigate, but I'm doing my best to navigate with positivity. Every day I wake up and make that choice.
Oh,
Um,
that's fantastic, and that's the spirit, right? That is the mindset. And so, what is the one thing, or maybe it's a multiple things that you're doing that actually to give you that positivity?
so having a routine has really helped me. Waking up in the morning, doing my breathing exercises. I learned a new one recently, which is a little odd, but it works for me. And also building and really, reflecting on my career, the amazing opportunities I've had, to then say, well, what can I do for other people? How
Mhm.
can I step out independently and become a consultant, an independent consultant? So I've been working very, very tirelessly on my website. I've been looking at building my services, building my programs, but also seeing what I can do, I guess, from a community outreach standpoint.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. And obviously, your specialty is change management, so you'll be able to apply your own lessons to yourself, and it'll be really interesting to see how that transforms and how that progresses over the coming weeks as we do a lot of these interviews. But there was something specific I wanted to touch base on with you, and we spoke earlier in the week, and I saw you post something on LinkedIn, and I just got to look over my shoulder because I don't want to misquote you. And your comment was, it is important to understand that workplace strategy and change management are completely separate disciplines and competencies. Now, what made you say that? Was there something, a narrative that you read that you saw there was blurring of the lines and you just wanted to
Mhm.
create some clarity? Is that where your head was?
Yeah, I think it's a message that I've been driving for a long time, a couple of years actually, and I've been trying to build a bit more awareness around this. Um, they are separate competencies, but the same, there are two sides of the same coin, right? They need each other. They're pulling and they're pushing on each other. Um, for me personally, when I try to explain to clients how they're different, I believe they get the most value. And they're able as well to give me the information that I need for the particular stage of the project that we're in. So for that reason, I'm trying to really be an advocate for expressing how they're different and expressing as well the different types of skill sets that come to the table when you have someone that is experienced or certified in change management, and someone, who's also very experienced in workplace strategy and how they can complement each other.
So how are they different?
Okay, so again, two sides of the same coin. But I'll talk about workplace strategy first, and
Hmm.
then I can kind of go onto change management. So workplace strategy is a data-driven practice. full stop. All right. So the goal of workplace strategy, though, is to align your workplace strategy to your corporate goals, values, and your culture. That includes people, tech, and process. As we talk about workplace strategy in our industry, corporate real estate, architecture, and interior design, it's spatial in nature. So when we're talking about people, process, and tech, we're talking about it as it relates to space planning and space experience. I think the difficult struggles that a strategist faces is getting the right people at the table, because workplace strategy is understood as corporate real estate. So usually it's only the real estate team. So we need to get the right people and enough of the right people at the table. We need to make sure that we have access to actually collect the data to make an informed strategy. But we also need to make sure that the sponsor or the executive is there, active, driving, part of the discussion as well. And actually the very last challenge, actually that I experience a lot, is making sure that the project team keeps their focus on what we're trying to develop, which is the strategy. It's very easy for people to say, oh, let's have a look at furniture. Like who's the best in this? Who's the best in that? I've had an executive say to me once, well, let's have a look at some chairs. Which one is the quiet chair? And I said, oh, there's no such thing. The chair is the solution, not the strategy. The strategy is the strategy. So education up front, before we even get into the data collection process, will make the whole project much smoother. So that's workplace strategy. Do you have any comments or questions?
I have so many, but we're trying to keep this a little short. So let's roll it, but we will come back to this because honestly, there are so many things that you said that are I really want to unpack with you. But what is change management?
Okay, so I do something that maybe is a little bit unorthodox. And I have two definitions for change management, and that's very, very intentional. My first definition is for the client executives, right? Because they're the ones that are the decision makers. They're the ones that are funding the project. So my definition for them is change management is a science-based, systematic approach to ensuring that your organization gets its people-dependent return on investment. And I'm very specific with that language.
You were very deliberate in how you give that. Okay. Okay.
Yes. So what I say to them is, if your project, no matter what it is, whether it is workplace, or whether it's a merger acquisition, a culture change, anything, if your project requires your staff to think, feel, or do anything different, you need change management, because people aren't going to change by themselves. So that's my first definition. My second definition, most of the times when I'm speaking to HR teams, facilities teams, usually they're on the project teams for change management because they're considered, on the front line with staff. Second definition for change management is ensuring that your people understand what they have to do and why, so that they can utilize the new thing or place or process to its fullest potential. So you're priming people to be successful so the business can run smoothly, and you're priming people so that they can be successful in their jobs.
So there's a lot in there, Cristina. So obviously there is the corporate strategy and there's the workplace strategy and then there's the methodology, but it almost sounds like you have to, as part of the change management, you have to get the employees to buy in to what's trying to come out of the corporate strategy. And it seems to be that's the two sides of the coin. Have I understood you correctly? Is that where we're going?
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. And there's this one-liner that I've mentioned so much within my WeHub community, Workplace Evolutionaries community. And what I say to them is, you spend so much time, money, and effort preparing a great space for your people. You mustn't forget to prepare your people for the space.
So taking that and running with what we're experiencing today, and everyone dispersed, and then obviously now everyone's trying to program to bring people together. What should organizations, what should leaders, what should real estate, what should HR, it's the two sides of the one coin, but actually it's the chicken and the egg. What do you do first? In your experience,
Mm.
how are teams most successful, and when are they most successful?
That's a really difficult question. You're right, chicken or the egg, what comes first? But I think what comes first truly is corporate strategy. So if you think about workplace strategy and change management, think about them as complementary but separate disciplines. But then there's an umbrella that sits above them, right?
Hmm.
This umbrella is corporate strategy, and this is your organizational development level. So that level needs to be clear about the direction they want to move in, whether that's reconsidering a 4-day work week,
Mm-hmm.
or whether that is looking at implementing new technologies or a new way of working. That level needs to be clear. Now, I will say organizational development and change management, they're cousins. They go way back, right? So there is a lot of relationship there, and you can have a change management who understands organizational development, or an OD professional to partner with you to figure out, because of COVID-19, where are we going? What does this mean for us?
Yeah. Yeah.
Only when that's clear do you want to look at what's underneath that umbrella.
No, you're so right. And it's what everyone's going through. That each organization is asking themselves these questions. So this is why it's so valuable that you are bringing forward and you are sharing your experience and knowledge. So I want to thank you for that. And obviously these are two complex subjects that do often get misunderstood and
Mm.
aren't correctly aligned. So again, thank you. And obviously, as
You're
we
welcome.
continue to have these conversations, we can dig a little deeper. And as you think about and you see the narrative change, in the marketplace and in the community, we'll touch on those subjects. But Cristina, look, thank you so much. I appreciate your
Thank
time.
you. Thanks for
And
having me.
no, my pleasure. And you be safe, be well, and we'll chat soon.
Thanks, you too. See you.